I don't even know whether this is going. Hold on one second. Yes, it is going. Yes, it is going. I have a lot of books, and they have been moved around a lot recently when I rearranged my studio. And it's about time I put them back into some sort of order. And so I'm taking one bookshelf and going through, bookcase rather, and going through those books and putting them into piles that will then be shoehorned into their proper location. I have a number of books in various places in my house. For example, in my bedroom, I have books that I like to actually read. And what I say is, novels and histories, things that don't involve pictures. My books that have pictures or reference material that I use in my art are in my studio. Then I also have other books that are sort of collectible in some sort of weird way that are in my house half of my loft. So behind me is a shelf of books, a bookcase of books that's based on their cover, judging books by their cover. And I'll start with that one. Here we go. So as you can see, one side to the left is white bound books. To the right are black bound books, and right down the middle are Roy G. Biv. And I'm a little bit low on the Iv part. Indigo and violet there are few. The green books are almost always horticultural in nature, and blue is quite often nautical in nature. The red and orange and yellow are sort of up in the air, as are blue and violet. Black and white, of course, is all over the map. So when I want to find a book, I will go to the area where it should be, and if I can't find it, I will say, oh yes, that has a black cover, and therefore I'll find it over here. Or, oh yeah, I remember, it was an orange one, so there it is. So this doesn't, even though it does belong in the Dewey Decimal System or the Library of Congress system, it does belong in the poster department. It is in the Roy G. Biv system of book organization. These low bookcases along the wall of my entry to my studio are books that were arranged at one point in a logical way, but many of them have been moved from here to the Roy G. Biv selection. So these may be filled in, but these are books about books and graphic design behind my trusty steed tetanus there. We have ancient art, sort of Egypt and Mesopotamia and Greece and Rome. And then here we have a lot of books on interior design and architecture. And then we have art books based generally alphabetically on the artist. But this has all been screwed around recently. So who knows that, but this is an easy system for the most part. Goya and Turner should be in the bookshelf behind me. Garden of Eden should be in my section. It's not a big section, but a section on gardens and plants and flowers. I'm not necessarily interested in gardens and plants and flowers, but I have to draw gardens and plants and flowers once in a while. Fishes, I'm not really interested in at all, except I like drawing them. I don't like fishing, but I like drawing fish sometimes. So, but they're white, so they're in the white section, the black section, and the books of color section. I still use white and black in rather than books of color. They're in the middle, black and white. Artists, architecture, interior design, ancient art, books on books, and graphic design. And over there used to be, and still may be, stamp collecting books. In this neck of the woods are books that I don't use very often. These encyclopedia sets have beautiful engravings in them, but I don't use them for actual factoids. There's some more horticultural books down there, and books on art education is in here somewhere. Over here, these bookshelves are all atlases and books on maps and geography, sometimes thrown in. Behind here, there are bookshelves in the gloom that I don't know what they are. No, I do know what they are. They're more sort of how-to encyclopedia books. There were a lot of beautiful books made in the 20s that were about how to do things, and they were correspondence courses, and they had really, really beautiful illustrations. So I saved them for that. But it's hard to, this I have to clear away. This chair, this is actually underneath here. All this stuff is a gynecology table from 1880 or 1890. Don't ask. Behind my pair of knights in armor, I have oversized books, art books, anatomy, hummingbirds. Why, I don't know. I have some books on typography over here. These are sort of just an oddment of oversizedness. Over here, in this bookcase, I have a section on cartooning, cartoons, New Yorker cartoons, cartoon album, a lot of Saul Steinberg work, Hirschfeld. I love their stuff. Below that I have prints, often. Prints of Rockville, Kent. These are other print books. I have some organization here that's sort of screwed up, but it won't be. Down at the bottom, I have books on Asian art. And below that, I have, well, take my word for it, I have books on medieval history. So here, in this last bookcase, is what I'm going through right now. The top will have books on cars and trains and ships. Medieval heraldry here. What's going to happen down there, I don't know. Posters, maybe. It's hard to know exactly what's going to happen here, but I used to have these before I got these bookcases, I had them in different locations, and they were ordered and they made sense, but now those areas have been cleared away and removed to here. So and I see I do have to organize this a bit. This is my organizational table. And then they'll go back over here or over there, or kitty, or these will be disposed of. In the other room, let's go see. Through the gloom. Oh, under my desk, under my table, I have books that are sort of weird, oversized, one-of-a-kind things. A book on quilting, for example. This is a rotating bookcase that has various oddments, kind of older books, more collectible. Behind here is the 11th edition of the Britannica in limp leather binding. Is it limp leather? Maybe it's just leather. I do have a limp leather set. This is the best edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica on India paper, printed in 1911. Over here, I've got a collection of Baedeker guidebooks. Even though I don't travel, I love these books. They have magnificent maps. And where's a map? Well, take my word for it. Here's a map. These maps were used by U.S. soldiers in World War II. The Germans, in their cleverness, changed all of the town signs and road signs. But the Baedeker guide was accurate. Even if it was printed in 1910, it was better than. Here I've got sex, books about sex. See, I kind of remembered what that was like. They're just like this one, illustrated book on sex. This is just, the illustrations are wacky. They have cross sections of nasty bits. And is this the one? Here's a nasty bit. But some of them are really interestingly drawn, where you have charts like this. Well, that does describe the monthly thing. But this one, that's supposed to be a penis. Yep. Over here, I've got books in cloth beige binding because it works so well in that location. Over here, I have other books. What are these? These are sort of oddments. Book of Opera, Word Finder, just strange things. There's more books down here. Up here in the cat's room, I have other books. See? There's where the cat resides. I call this Campobello because it has, underneath all of this debris, there's a wheelchair there, and a wheelchair there, and a wheelchair there. All wicker and oak. And there's our, whatever he is. He looks like that picture I just showed you. Just like it. Kitty. Orca, watch out. Oh. So these are the books, and I just have to sort out the art books, because those are the ones that I really use most. and I can never find them because they've been moved around so much. And again, in my bedroom, as I mentioned, I've got lots of books. Those are mainly old books that I collected on, or that I read or was hoping to read, you know, Pilgrim's Progress and the Divine Comedy and things like that. I do have books over here. These are books on calligraphy and drawing, and a book like this one, the Macmillan Visual Dictionary. I use Wikipedia and Google search, image search, to find things these days. I don't really use that book so much, but the way illustrations were done back in the olden days is often way better than what they show on. Oh, I've got one more. See, here's a, this doesn't belong here. I'll put this where it belongs. The synthetic anatomy book belongs with my anatomy books. Now, these I moved, I looked everywhere for a particular book because I had to draw a heart. And these, come on, Pier, have been moved over there. These are anatomy books for the most part. Oh, I forgot there's another section of books. And they're over here. Of course, you won't be able to see any of it. Where's my flashlight? I just had a flashlight and I put it somewhere. Where did I put it? No. It was right in here. And I hung it up on something. See, this is what happens when I try to tidy up, things get misplaced and then I forget where I put them. Well, that's useless. I wish you could sort of put light in a bucket and carry it across the room to where you need it. Ah, look at that. See, it's right here. Right in this bottom half of Moses or something, I have a flashlight. Now, I have a dictionary of nautical terms somewhere, and the nautical term for definition rather of flashlight is a container where dead batteries are stored before they are disposed of, which I thought was exactly what flashlights are. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.